Good morning, welcome to Ag Talking Raw, where I talk raw about agriculture and other things that are on my mind. Well, it's now May 19th, 2019. It looks like it's going to rain out there again. I don't know, we've got like a 40% chance, I believe. I can look it up here on this computer. I don't know, it's 59 degrees outside, which is not entirely too awful bad, but... Where is this at? This is Frenchtown weather, sure. Let's see. So, partly cloudy, partly sunny, about 50%. Looking at Monday for 20% chance of rain. Tuesday is sunny. Wednesday is cloudy. Thursday is sunny. Friday, 20% chance of rain. Thursday and Friday, both 20%. So, if I was going to mow hay, I could jump on that. Friday, it's supposed to be 81 degrees here, with a low in the 60s, which is really good for growing grass. You really don't want super hot nights. You get those super hot nights, then it doesn't grow very well. But you get a nice warm day in that 75 to 85 degree weather in the spring like this, and it'll push that grass to really get rolling. So, yeah, that's really cool. It is right now 86 degrees in Longpo City, Philippines, 61 in London, Brussels, Belgium, Bruges is 55, Brussels is 63. Baguio City is 68 degrees, which is pretty cold for the Philippines, pretty cold. And so these are places that I've been, and I like to see what the weather is there. When I'm there. Palawan is 82 degrees. Enjoyed that vacation very much. So I'm talking about vacations and stuff, and I've got this huge job ahead of me to do this straw. Now, it's a lot of people. I've read a lot of comments over the last couple of days on where my equipment's going. Why is it going there? Come on, guys. I've only said this about 4,592 times. I'm headed south to the Carolinas. I will not be in South Carolina, though. I'm actually going to be in North Carolina. I am not going to be accepting or inviting people to the site to meet and greet. That's not happening. It's just not going to happen. I may go to the Outer Banks at some point and maybe throw up a thing, come meet me in the Outer Banks if that's something that, on a rainy day or something. Other than that, forget it. I can't have people at the work site. I'm working for other farmers, other farmers. I'm baling their straw, and I'm pretty sure they just don't want people showing up there to shake hands. It's just not going to happen. Can't happen. Won't happen. Not about to happen. Yes. Yeah. That's the deal. I just can't do that. So don't ask. If you see me along the highway, and you see me along the highway and I'm out there bailing or something like that, or you see me in a store, hey, shake my hand, that's fine. But if I'm on somebody's farm and you come pulling in, I'm going to politely ask you to leave. Probably not so politely. I'll probably tell you, come on, I'm working here, get the hell out of here, I can't have you here. So that's just one of those things. So everything has left for North Carolina to do this job, with the exception of two tractors, the 7810, which just needs a bath and a wax job. Yes, wax makes it run faster, and the 8120, which both of those tractors are still on sprayers, because if you watch the other channel, you'll see that I'm still putting fertilizer down. Now, come Monday, which is tomorrow, I'm going to pull those tractors off of the sprayers. They're going to get a full bath. The 8120 needs an engine oil change and hydraulic filter change, which, excuse me, the 7810 probably should have its hydraulic filter changed as well. The oil was changed in those rear ends, or in those hydraulic systems last year and towards the end of the season. But anyway, just the filter change, just to keep everything clean. I did change the transmission filter on the 7810 here just the other day when I changed the engine oil in it. So that's fresh, ready to rock and roll with new tires all the way around. I put the 710 70R 38s and the 665 28s on the front. They're brand new rims and everything. The whole bill was $11,300, and yes, that's a lot of money to spend on a, literally a 16-year-old tractor. It's a 2002 model year. Great tractor though, and well worth the money that I put into it, because it doesn't even have, I don't think it even has 4,000 hours on it. Not even. And we're going to put some hours on it now though. I mean, it's really going to go through its paces. So everything is pretty much ready to go as far as the equipment that's down there or going down there. I need to load the tool truck, which will happen tomorrow and the next day, Tuesday. The two tractors do go down. They leave, and then we leave on Wednesday. Probably Wednesday afternoon, we'll get out of here and get on our merry way to North Carolina to get this job started. So, oh my God, my nose is running. I got snot running for some reason. Sinuses. But anyways, probably pollen. So anyways, it is so incredibly wet out there that I have not finished putting fertilizer down. There's no way that I can just go out and put fertilizer down no matter what I do. Like I said in the other video, that I'm actually kind of fortunate that that it has been as cold and as wet as it is, for the simple reason that the grass is behind. But you get into the lower or the wetter areas of where my hay is, and I honestly believe the grass is drowning. I'm not kidding you. It's short. It's there, but it's short. It's getting thick though, which is good. But in the lower areas, it's drowning. It's not growing like it should. So I'm a little bit worried that we're not going to get the tonnage that I'd like on the first cutting. But the second cutting could be quite lucrative, because grass is kind of funny how it comes back. If it's, the temperatures and everything is right, we'll be able to rock it out. And with this heat that's coming, I mean, we're looking at, what is it, Monday? We're looking at 88 degrees. It can be damn near 90 degrees here on Monday. Then, of course, Tuesday it drops to 72 as a high, 73 as a high. Thursday, 75 as a high. And then Friday we go back up into 80, 81. So then temperatures are really erratic. Again, Tuesday, 48 degrees in the morning, in the evening, at night. So that should probably allow that grass to really take off if we get the right temperature. Is that a shadow, or did I get hurt? Oh, and the cameras that I've ordered are on their way. I got 4 GoPro Hero 7s on their way, and I've got the new Mavic Pro. It's a refurbished Mavic Pro with all the latest and greatest updates on it, which are great little drones. I didn't really want a Mavic 2. It's funny. The Mavic 2 is more versatile for the different cameras that you can put on there. They have 2 different types of cameras, or 3, even 3. I think you could put thermal imaging on the Mavic Pro 2. I don't need thermal imaging. It's still a 4K camera. I can't zoom with this one like you can zoom with the Mavic Pro 2. And this was a refurbished deal. And I asked him, so what was the deal with the refurbishing? He says the people just didn't do the update, and they took a tumble with it. And it didn't break anything. Excuse me. God, it's driving me nuts. It didn't break anything on the outside of the drone, but it cracked the board when they crashed. So there's new pieces inside. The board is new, and the drone is basically new. Now, I haven't calibrated it. I haven't flown it. I haven't done anything with it yet. I just had to charge everything. I had to charge everything up last night. And today, me and Timothy are going to go out and we're going to give it a go. We're going to see how it works. I got the Fly More package, which I would recommend for everybody because it comes with 2 batteries and car chargers and all this other stuff. So if you are into droning and drone footage, this is the way to go. And the nice thing about this drone is I can take it to the Philippines without any major issues. It's not this huge backpack. It's just this tiny little thing, and I'll be showing that in the other on the other channel, and possibly I'll bring it into this channel as well. But I need this to do the footage that I'd like to have. I'm even going to go with this little 3D camera, or 360 camera. The 360 camera will not be used much because it is a bit of a pain in the ass. This one does not have the capabilities. The lens on this is really kind of antique. I mean, it's like 720 max, and if you remember, like 7-8 years ago, 10 years ago, if you had 720, you were styling. Well, I look at some of the old footage that I had that was 720, and it's like, man, it's grainy. It's real grainy. So this one here is not nearly as effective as I'd like it to be. I do have that Solo Shot camera, which, believe me, is a piece of junk. It's not a piece of junk. It actually does really good footage and stuff, and it follows and does what it's supposed to do. It's like a one-man camera crew. But it's really difficult to render that footage. As a matter of fact, I don't think I've been able to even get that footage on YouTube. It's too big. It takes so long to set the thing up. It's just really a difficult camera to deal with. So in my mind, that $2,000+ that I spent on that thing was a total waste of money. I feel like it was a total waste of money. I bought 3 tags. I bought the camera, the tripod. I bought everything I needed for it. And what do I get out of it? I get something that I don't have time to fool with. So that's junk. So if we want to talk about crops and stuff, corn is coming up out of the ground. Not my corn, because I sent that seed back, but the corn that is planted that I see, it's yellow as New Holland, or yellow, New Holland yellow, or John Deere wheel yellow. It's pretty yellow. We just haven't had the heat to get it going. I don't know if that's. I was told that the new varieties of corn are nowhere as near as sensitive as some of the older varieties, which I could possibly agree with. And, I can agree with it. I've seen corn come out of the ground that shouldn't have come out of the ground, but it's out of the ground and it's growing. Soybeans, same thing. They're popping up, but they're a little, they're just yellow. When you see yellow, you're like, God, what the heck? And I personally, here in New Jersey, would be waiting. If I wasn't on my way to North Carolina to do this straw job, I would have planted that corn. I can plant that corn right into June, without any problem. June 10th, June 15th, I'd be okay. June 10th, I don't want to go any later than that. Soybeans, you can go right up till right up to, July if you really wanted to, but that's not ideal. Anything after June 20th, June 15th. Anything after June 15th, you're going to hit a rather reduced yield by bushels per day. So June 15th, you could be at your maximum, 60, 65 bushels to the acre. And then June 16th, 61, 60, 61, 59. And then every day after, you might as well just take a bushel off until you get up into, say, July. And I've seen guys plant in July 4th. They're still out there planting, looking to get 20, 25 bushels to the acre. I personally have done it, not liked doing it, but I did it. And I'm going to close that out because that thing is already shared. So the other channel should be up and running. But so it's just not a good thing. But my optimal planting time for corn in this area is when the soil is correct, ready to go. And I always said May 10th. May 10th was the date to do it. You get going May 10th, you have 4 or 5 days of rain, and I've had that. So now you're into the 15th, the 18th, and 19th of May, which we are now. This is when you really start getting itchy with a 4-row corn planter. You're just like, oh my God, I got a 4-row corn planter. How the hell am I going to get 200 acres of corn in the ground or whatever? And it can be done. It can be done, and it has been done many times. You just spend a lot of hours in the seat, starting early and ending late. It's just the way, that's how you do it. But because I'm leaving in a couple of days, there just wasn't any time, and I didn't want to strap my dad and my nephews with that task of putting this corn in the ground, because it just isn't going to happen. Not going to happen. Can't do it. Can't do it. Not physically or at all possible. So there you go. We just got to limit our limit the risk. I mean, and I watched Jeff Raymond, and he was doing a field report or the crop report, and he's still smoking cigars and drinking beer. Miller, he's not doing the Budweiser. I guess they screwed him on grain price. I don't know. Screwed some guys up. Ooh, I just hit my desk here. I'm a little antsy. And that's in Illinois, down St. Louis area. That's where he's at, and he's just sitting on his ass. He says, and he came up with a really valid point. There's only 9 days in May that you can get your work done. Now, you can do field work, chisel plow, and work your ground a little bit in May without too much trouble. A couple of rainy days is fine, but when it comes down to actual get it in and get it going really quickly, you got 9 days. And I thought about that. I was like, that's really probably pretty accurate. 9-10 days in May. Now with bigger corn planters, bigger bean planters, faster, more horsepower tractors, vertical tillage machines that go faster, you can get things done faster. So 9 days, really, in essence, 9 days from 20 years ago versus 9 days today. You can do 18 days of work in 9 days' time versus 20 years ago. And 20 years ago, when I started in the mulch hay business, 21 years ago, this is my 21st year doing this nonsense. And, 21 years ago, I was happy when I hit 1,000 bales in a whole entire season. Now, I had antique tractor. I was running a 1967 John Deere 5020, 4320 from 72. That's the same year I was born. And the 77 4430 and an old 4020 from 66 and a 4010 that was worn out. That's all we had. And we did it. I did it. That's what I got started with. The baler was a 1994. I think it was a 1994 New Holland 2000, very limited baler. Didn't know much about how to run a baler or even how to make them go and force feed them. And boy, if I had a New Holland 2000 today, if someone was to give me one, I could hot rod and mod that sucker so it would bale like there's no tomorrow. I guarantee you I'd make that thing just eat hay like there's no tomorrow. And, and you can get those things for $6,000, $8,000, $10,000 now. I'm pretty sure there's still a few of them around. You can't hardly get parts for them anymore. You have to buy 2 balers to make one work. And, who wants to do that? If you're getting started, that's a good way to start. I wouldn't recommend it, though. I mean, a 4900 Heston or, 4710, I think it's a 49 to 4710 or 4700. The 3x4 or the 4x4 Heston balers are much better. They have the pre-charged chambers, and, they're just a better baler for that generation or that genre of baler. The 4910, I really think that baler is going to go to the field and just sing. And I really wish I was here for the startup of it, but man, what a job it's going to be to get that thing going. Cody he's green. He's green around the ears, wet behind the ears. He's just green on a baler. And for one that's been modified and rectified and ratified and modified again and just done over the way I've done it, we've done it. He's done a lot of the welding on it under my guide as to what to do. Could be a real nightmare. So we're going to see. I just really wish I could have sliced something off to see if we can get it going, but it didn't happen. So farming here in New Jersey this year is just insane. It's insane. So what I'm going to do with the taking these tractors away here on Tuesday, I'm actually going to call the fertilizer company and I'm going to have them bring in dry. Some form of a ammonium sulfate, urea, and potash blend to put down dry. Cody can do that with the tractors that I have left here: 5020, 4430, 4440, 4230. What else is here? If he really gets down to it, he can run that 4320. That 4320 is ready to rock and roll in the field. It's good. I just got to put batteries in her, and boom, off she'll go. So, yeah, I actually should start that up. It's been a year or two since I started it, but that tractor is okay to run. The tires are up on it. It's not ideal, but it'll work. Those tractors, I mean, they're old and, they'll be okay for what he's going to do here. The 4960 will still be here as well. The 4960 is going on that 4910 baler, and that's what he's going to run. So he'll be in relative comfort with that tractor and that baler. So I'd be okay with him doing that. We do have to hook it up before I get out of here, though, because I want to make sure that it's good to go. So we'll get some dry fertilizer in here, and I'm going to have him put the dry on the remainder of what we have here, what's left, because the 7410, I don't really want to take the loader on and off of it, and I don't want him to have to take the loader on and off of it to load hay up and move hay around, then take the sprayer off, put the it's just a bastard of a job. So yeah, so that's what's gonna be happening, and he should do okay. We're just gonna do the easy hay here. I'm gonna try and get him to have 1,000 bales baled, 1,100 bales baled in a couple weeks' time, which should be pretty easy for him to do. And if the straw is on the ground and the number of bales that we're putting through those crones is unacceptable, I will send Steve, ISX Cummings 565, up to grab the 4960 and the Heston baler, and we'd be good to go. We'll be good to go. G2G. G2G. Good to go. And they'll get that down there, and Cody can come down, and we'll run 3 balers, and that will be nice. I'll get Cody, Grant, and possibly my dad will come down too. I mean, he'll bring Grant down if we need him, and we're going to be rocking and rolling here. So anyways, that being said, I guess I've talked enough about the crop conditions here in New Jersey and probably everywhere else in the country. I see the Millennial Farmer putting in corn and soybeans, which is great, and I just don't get how he is able to do it. I mean, if I had snow 2 weeks ago on the ground and I was going to plant corn like now, I wouldn't be able to do it. The ground would be way too cold. It would just be, but I think the way that when you look at a map, the United States is straight across like this, but in reality, it's kind of cocked like this. Okay, so we go around and around in circles. Now the sun comes up, the sun goes down. This is summer, this is winter. So you get to the top of the planet, and the sun never goes down in the summertime. Just doesn't go down. So it gets pretty warm in certain areas, and I think that's what's happening, is that he's already getting that direct sunlight shooting into that dark black soil where he's working. So he's getting that warm top layer of soil. Now down deep, I cannot imagine, with all the wet weather and the snow and the shit that he had to deal with, and other farmers in that area, obviously, that it's very dry down there. And I did watch him plug the planter, and he was having problems with trash, his Yetter trash, Yetter trash row cleaners. They were plugging up. I have limited experience with those things, and in my limited experience with them is that they only lightly need to touch the soil. And if your planter sinks in the soft soil or wet underlay. Now, I saw a guy from Minnesota, and they were planting, and he went in the tracks. Excuse me. He went in the tracks. I really should blow my nose, but he went in the tracks, and he was jumping up and down on the soil, and it was like Jell-O. So the top was dry, crispy, warm, but below, it was literally, if they'd have broke ground tension with that tractor, they'd dig it up with a track hoe. That's what it looked like. And I wonder if that's what he's got going on out there too. But just totally different ways of farming, totally different areas, totally different, totally different thoughts, I guess, a thought process on how to get it in. But I'm not an expert in any of that stuff. I've done it before. I didn't do it this year. I really regret it. I really wish I could have got that corn in the ground, because, I even bought the damn corn planter. But the nice thing about that corn planter is I have a lot more time to put it together in this coming winter and get it right for the spring. And then, you see, if you know anything about what happened to me in planting corn this year, a lot of it has to do with a friend of mine who had offered a planter, and it just didn't work out. So, what do you do then when your friend decides doesn't want to be your friend anymore because of stupidity? Now, I just put fertilizer on that land that I got, and his brother should be ashamed of himself, just absolutely ashamed of himself. He told everybody that was his good hay, and if that was his good hay, if I was his customer, I'd be like, you know what? There's nothing good there.
You want grilled cheese?
I would love a grilled cheese. That's my beautiful wife. Anyway, he should be ashamed of himself. The weeds that are growing in there, I ended up dumping a bunch of 2,4-D in. The field that was all overgrown in bushes that he could have made hay on, there's grass there. And I killed the weeds in it yesterday, and hopefully they're wilting down and dying by today. And then, of course, the grass that's by my uncle's house, that is, I swear to God, and I'm not 100% sure if this is what he did, but it looked to me like he had, I think my uncle wanted him to put fertilizer on there, because I know the other fields he did not put fertilizer on. If he put fertilizer on there, it was like a salt shaker, like that. And he left the hay there. Of course, last year, I can't blame him. Last year we had really bad weather, and he raked the hay up, and it got rained on. He went through and he tedded it back out again, raked it up. Couldn't make it as good hay, so he tedded it out, and there's dead spots out across the field in areas. And normally when that happens, if you have a good fertilizer program, you'll have green grass over top of where this rotting, decaying hay is. That's not the case. You can only see dead spots. That hay was so depleted, that grass was so depleted that you can't even tell. It's no more green than my hat right here. You kind of want a deep green, but it was yellow, and it didn't look any different than any of the other grass that's there, or the hay that's there. It was orchard grass. So take it, don't put it back. Take it, don't put it back. What do you end up with? Barren ground, and it's close. It was really close. So I'm hoping. I think we did have a bit of a shower last night. I put 28 gallons of nitrogen to the acre on that, and in the after I take it off for the first cut, I'm actually going to go back in this later this fall. I'm going to dump a bunch of potash on there, because next year I'm going to have corn in there come hell or high water. There's just no way I'm not going to do it. And I do have to talk to him and tell him what my plan is, because we just ran out of time. And I'm sure he'll be okay with it. And not that it makes any difference. But he really did want to see corn back in there. And I was like, man, I'm going to put corn in here and it's going to be great. Well, unfortunately, that's not the case. It ain't happening. So, yeah. I'm just amazed. I just have to say shame on him for pitching such a fit over such shitty hay. And, I really didn't care about the grass. I really thought, I'm just going to kill this and plant corn in there and get everything up to par that way. But because it didn't work out that way, and I'm looking at this grass, I'm like, this coming year, if he was going to make hay on that ground, my hands are up. He wasted he would get nothing. I wouldn't buy it. If I was a hay customer, I wouldn't buy it. I wouldn't buy it. It is garbage. I mean, it's mulch hay. At best, mulch hay. As a matter of fact, if I baled that shit in a month, the type of weeds, mugwort, there was white top daisy in there, mugwort. There was, hemp dogbane, our favorite. That sucks. And you're telling me you're going to feed this to horse people? No, that shit ain't happening. Mushroom barns don't buy mugwort. They don't buy hemp dogbane. They don't buy white top daisy. They don't buy goldenrod. They don't buy thistle. I mean, not thistle, bramble bushes. And there was an area of them damn things in there. And that shit spreads. It goes on rhizome. Makes a mess. Should be ashamed of himself. Actually, you should be glad I took it away from you to get it straightened out, for God's sakes. I know that's just the way it is. And if you don't like this video, you can kiss my white ass too. And you ought to go talk to yourself in the mirror and say, I'm a great farmer, because you're the only one you're going to convince that you're a great farmer. So there you go. Anyway, I kind of have a personal attachment to this farm as well, because it is my grandmother's farm. She's still alive, still doing her thing. She's still alive, 94 years old, God bless her. And my grandfather farmed that ground. It was his pride and joy, that farm. it was his pride and joy. And when he died in 1992, my uncle took it over. He was already farming. My grandfather was 77 years old when he died, but my uncle was already head of operations on that farm, and he farmed it for a few years after, milked cows for another year, and then he sold the cows, which I don't blame him. I mean, milking cows sucks. It'd be okay if we got paid, you got paid for your effort. And that was in 93 he sold the cows, and we milked cows until 2011. And of course he missed the cows, but he went to work for Rutgers Extension Service, which Rutgers is the state college, and New Jersey State College. And he worked there for 20 some years, and he retired from there. He is retired now. He's 72 years old. I believe he's 72. He's got to be 72 years old. So he retired from there with a pension and all the amenities, which he wouldn't have gotten by milking cows. So there you go. He pulled a pension later in life, because he was about my age when he quit farming the milking cows. Yeah, he was about my age. At 22 years. I think he was 68 when he retired. So whatever, it doesn't even matter. But there you go. So the farm is there was a little kerfuffle with me and him, and me and him really haven't had a decent relationship since. I'm trying to repair that relationship, and I do have ambitions of purchasing that property when my grandmother passes away, and my aunt and my cousins want to sell the property. I'm pretty sure they do. I know they do. And my mom does not want it sold, so I'm just going to take up the two parties there, and we should be good to go. So there's that, and so I kind of have to repair that relationship with my uncle and get that straightened out. And there's no reason for these other people to be really pissed off, because quite honestly, when I do purchase that land, do they honestly think they're still going to be on there farming it after I purchase it? I mean, if they're that delusional, God help them. God help them. But anyways, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a good day.